Good morning, Canadian Yarn Hoard. My name's Alyssa, and today it's just a quick project video. So we're going to be making this Santa Claus coffee cup cozy. And if you are new here, thank you very much for coming. I very much appreciate it. As you can see, Maya's right there behind me. What I'd like to do, if you are a returning viewer, thank you very much for coming back. Say that before I forget it. If you are new here, what I like to do is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do a quick daily update of something like making something like this in the background so that you can see how long a project can take. It can give you a better idea of how long it can really take. This one shouldn't take more than an hour. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, I release a project video just like this of something I do believe you can do, of something that is a smaller nature, can do in a day. Usually, even if you're a busy mom, you might be able to get enough time to get it done. I would love to hear from you. Any questions or concerns you have below. I love to hear from my viewers, very much so. I would love to earn your like and subscription. I'm going to move you over to the overhead cam so I can start describing everything and getting you into all the details. All right, so to start this, you are going to need 4 different colors. Now, the 3 that I have here currently are, the white is this Premier Just Chenille. It is a super bulky 600% polyester. It recommends an 8mm needle and an 8mm hook. It does say machine wash and lay flat to dry. I have not done this yet, but the color is antique. This one is called Cardinal, so it's the same yarn. And then I'm also going to use for the black belt Yarnspirations Bernat Velvet. This is a 5 bulky, and it recommends a 6.5mm needle and a 6.5mm hook. It does recommend hand washing. However, I have put it in the machine washer and dryer, and they both come out beautiful. So I don't have a problem using them. So now also the next color you're going to want, and I'm going to use the one with the label because this one's the one I'm working from. I like actual gold. As you can see, this one isn't gold. This one is a goldish bronze, and I'm just not as happy with it. So I'm going to use, yet again, this. If you've seen some of my other ones, you'll see that I do use this. I will be using a different color for a different project I'm using coming up, because I did not want to use this for it for sure. But for this one, it is just a quick little buckle. I don't think it's going to make a big deal. So we are going to get started. But those are the 4 colors you're reasonably going to need. And you're going to start actually with the red. So the red, as you can see, I started on the circle with the red. I did make this coffee cup cozy a lot smaller than I make my other ones. So I'm going to use a 3.5 for it. We're going to make the magic circle, which is put a circle around your 2 fingers and hold with your thumb. Bring a loop up from the working yarn behind it. Pinch right here. That didn't work. Let's try that again. So you want to make sure you leave a tail with a magic circle, because that can happen. So you want to pull it up and grab your hoop, your loop, tighten around your hook, pinching right there at the stitch, 1, 2. So you've got your chain 2 now, and now you're going to do 6. So 1, 2. Actually, I think that could be a 4. So I'm going to do the 4 because I do think I did use a 4. So I'm going to go back to the beginning, wrap around, come up, put your hook in the loop, wrap your yarn, working yarn around the loop, and chain 1, chain 2, and now single crochet 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you're going to pull tightly on the tail. Just wanna, it would have come nice and smoothly, but because I've undone it a couple of times, it does take a bit more effort to pull. So as long as you don't actually have to come undone doing it, it should be fine. So now this row is going to be your increase row. So you're going to chain 2 as you always do when you finish your slip stitch. So you're going to do 2 stitches in each space. So for each loop, you make 2 stitches. So there's 2 loops you grab, you do 1 stitch, go back in the same spot, 2 stitch. So now you're going to move to the next one, 1 stitch, 2 stitch. And that's how you increase. 1 stitch, 2 stitch, 1 stitch, 2 stitch. And you're going to do that all the way around. 1 stitch, 2 stitch. Now, a lot of people will tell you this is not considered a stitch. Because I want it flat, I'm going to work it because it gives me a nice flatness. So I have probably 7 stitches and 14 here. So I've doubled all stitches here. Now your next row is going to be 1 stitch and then increase. 1, 2, and 1 stitch and then increase. And you're going to do that all the way around your row. I'm going to come back when we're done that and I'll show you the next row. So now this one, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Just got to get the yarn out from under my arm. So now you're going to do 2 increases or 2 stitches in between each increase. 1, 2. So 1, 2, and then increase. Now, I don't know if you can see the little bit of fluff that's right here. This yarn will do that. It is just one of those things that velvet yarns do. They do shed. This one's not so bad, even if you wash them, or I don't know about this one, but their Bernat velvet's really nice. Even if you wash it, it doesn't have it will at the ends. So when you cut an end, you will always get a little bit of tufting going on. But generally, it's pretty good. It holds together. I would say this is my next favorite one. And then this is an increase. So I'd say Bernat's my favorite. Then it would be this Premier Just Chenille. And then I'd have to say the Walmart brand Cozy Velvet or whatever the heck they call it. It's not as nice. It's nice enough. It's just not as nice as the Bernat Velvet or the Premier, I have to admit. And that's weird because some of their other yarns that they have, like their the Cozy Blanket, the Bernat, their Walmart's version of the blanket yarn is actually so nice, so much nicer. So that was your cast on magic circle. That was your double. That was your 1. Here's your 2. And then you're going to have your 3 increase. So this will be your final row of increase. We're going to chain 2. And then you're going to have 3 stitches in between each increase. So 1, 2, and then increase. No, 1, 2, 3, and then increase. 1, 2, 3, and then increase. So that just means 2 stitches in there. And you're going to continue that. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, increase. And you're going to do that all the way across this row. 1, 2, 3, increase. Now, I'm so sorry, I do not grab your name. I meant to do it. You left a comment the other day about how pretty they were and how you liked them, but you didn't think that you thought that you'd get them all messy. And the reality is, that's kind of the point of these. Every single night, I will bring my husband a cup of tea when he gets home from work, and I will make my own cup of tea, and I will carry both the cups, and every night, there's always a little bit of a couple drip lines where my husband's cup has been, where it's followed the line, and my cup never leaves spills. So they will drip into here on the inside, And I use one a day. I usually, by the end of the day, the cup's getting all icky. So I usually end up putting it in the wash, pulling it off, because the sugar does stick to it and you have to kind of pull it off, pry it off your cup, and then throw it in the wash, grab the next one, and it's good to go. And I had one up here just a few minutes ago, but I took it down. The snowman one, I have washed it multiple times at this point. And I think yesterday I had to add an eye because one of the eyes had come out. It wasn't attached perfectly. So I ended up fixing the eye, and that's pretty much all that happened. So now you're not going to increase anymore. So you're going to change to the white, chain 2 with the white, and you're going to do 2 rows of white. Now, do not cut the red. You are going to leave the red attached, and you're just going to do 2 rows of single crochet white. Now, as you saw there, I pulled off some of the white tufts because that is the end. You're going to get that. It is just the way chenille yarn goes. Before I do this row, I did want to show that I'm not really have a lot of extra yarn on the outside of it. I do not want too much space in between the end of the coaster and my cup, or the coffee cup cozy, I should say, not coaster. I've tried it where I've given another row, and I do find they're too large for my cups. I don't actually like it. So I'm going back a bit. The chenille yarn, you actually go back about 2 rows, but that's because it's a thicker yarn. If I were using this as a Red Heart Super Saver or something, I probably would still go up to the 5, maybe only the 4 stitches in between, allowing you to have a little bit more space in between, but I really don't think you need it. This one really proved you didn't need the extra space, and it sits really nicely on the cup. So I'm going to stick with the methods that are working for me because I do really like this coffee cup cozy, I have to admit. I did come up with it the other day, and I don't know how it took me so long. I did want to do the white because if you ever see Santa's coat on a movie or whatever, there's always this white fluff at the bottom. And I figure you had to do a color for bottom, so red would probably be the best color to do for the bottom, of the cup. And you're just going to keep going. Like I said, you're going to do 2 rows of single crochet. I will come back when I'm done the second row, and I'll show you how we're just going to go and finish the next part of the red. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so now that I've gotten the 2 rows of white done, you're just going to trim that off because you don't need the white for a while now. So now you're going to bring the red up. You're going to slip knot the 2 whites together with the red there, and you're just going to now go around, but you're not going to slip knot the end of this row together. This is where you're going to start the split for the handle. So you're just going to go around and not do the this full round. You're just not going to do the slip stitch. You're just going to go around in a circle. Now, I will admit this red and white, these are the only 2 things I've used it for. So I'm really hoping I can get this full coffee cup cozy. So I can say it made 2 full coffee cup cozies for me. And that way you know how much one ball can actually get you. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I've actually made a full one out of this Premier yarn yet. So this will be a new one for me. And then I have a general idea of what I can get out of them. As I said, you will see little bits of fluff come off this yarn near ends because that's just what it likes to do. So you're just going to keep going around and around. As I said, I do find these help actually keep my house clean. They help keep the tables clean. They help keep those teacup rings, the cup rings from ending up on your table, because they end up absorbing that before they get on the table. So they end up helping keep your house a lot cleaner. And I don't find they get that dirty. Now I am going to go into the same stitch and single crochet, chain 2, turn, and then start the next row. So that is what you're going to do. Oh, there we go. And that's how you're going to work this. Now you're going to want to work this up for quite a ways. Let me just pull it out. I'm going to measure it from the white row. Could probably count the rows, but so I got it right to the white row. So you want to do 3 inches of red, and I will come back and I will show you what to do next. Okay, so this is how much red I have left after the second one. So just a very small amount. I am now going to go back to the white. I'm just going to go back one more. I don't know if I have enough for one full row. I don't think I do. So I'm just going to start the white. I'm going to chain 1. And then I'm going to chain 3. 2, 3. Then I'm going to grab slip stitch here. So that, now what you want to make sure is that it'll fit your cup. So put it in your cup, make sure that'll fit nicely, which it seems like it will. So now we are going to do 2 rows of single crochet here. So you just want to go up 1. I'm going to trim this off. It's going to drive me mental if I don't. So as I said, that's the last of what I have of the red. So I was able to make the 2. I am going to darn this in because it's going to drive me nuts if I don't. I hate threads hanging around me, as returning viewers will know. I have always been of the opinion that I hate darning in threads. I really do. And it's kind of like food. If you eat it first, you get it over and done with, then you get to the good stuff. So if you can do it while you're working it, I always find that's the best way to be, because when I finish, I'm going to be done and I'm not going to have to weave in anything. So I am one of the few people that I know that very much pushes weave in your ends as you go. It is an important thing. I have a little bit here I'll have to put somewhere. So now you're just going to, I'm going to go up a chain 1 here. Oh, my yarn fell down. And then we're just going to go around fully, and when you hit the chain 3 stitches, you're going to single crochet 3 there. So you're just going to go around like this, and it appears that I've done 2 rows, so I'm going to do 2 rows just to give yourself a little bit of more white at the top, although I think I did a different stitch. I think I used half double crochet for it, which you could use as well. So this one is just single crochet, whereas that one's half double crochet. And it's all the same. It's just I used a half double crochet stitch as opposed to knitting. And I think I only did 1 row of white at the bottom for the half double crochet, and then just half double crocheted all the way up. But I don't think it looks any different. They both look very similar. So either stitch will work. But I am going to do 2 white at the top then, just to give it a little bit more fluff. So I will come back when I'm done all the white, and I'll show you how to do the belt. Now what you want to do, now that I've got it all done, you're going to want to take a black, make a slip knot, and then you're going to want to chain all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put it in my cup in the cozy, and then pull it up. And now I want to wrap it all the way around. So as you can see, I didn't get all the way around, so we're going to keep going. You're only doing a single row of single crochet, so this really isn't going to matter how many stitches you have. You just want to make sure it fits your cup. 6, 10. Now you just want to make sure you're at the one edge, at the other edge. So there we go. So it fits my cup. So I'm going to chain 2. And then I'm just going to single crochet, grabbing the top loop because it's not too big of a deal here. So I'm just going to grab each stitch and go down. And you're just going to go all the way down. And then when you're finished this, you can sew one end on, but you can't sew the other one just yet. You don't want to sew it on. If you want to wait, you can do that. I'll probably wait so I can sew them both on together. But if you do want to sew the one end on, you can always do that now. So you're just trying to grab a loop here. It's not easy. It is black yarn, so it is not the easiest to see where the loops are. And if you have a twist in your turning chain, that'll happen. Just gonna try and force it on. There we go. Found one. There we go. Found the next one. Just keep trying to find loops. Not always so easy. And when you sew this onto the cup, you are going to make sure you're going to have to make sure you don't get it into a twist, because it's going to want to if you don't have a straight turning chain. And mine got twisted, so now I'm going to fight with it the whole dang time. There we go. There's a knot there. Hopefully that'll make it easier now. So you just keep going down the black yarn. I'm just going to keep, like I said, I'm going to finish this off. Grab a bit of a tail, because you do want to make sure you have a tail. And as I said, you want to make it snug to your cup. And I would recommend making it after, not before, because you want to make sure that it fits the cup with the coffee cup cozy on it, not just empty, because it's going to make it a different size. Both of those are going to make different sizes. So, yet again, we're fighting to find a loop. There we go. Almost done. So, oh, there we go. And then you can always test it on at the end just to make sure it'll wrap around properly. I'll show you that in just a second. Just to make sure you don't have to add any more stitches, that you've got enough stretch to it. You don't want too much stretch, but you do want just a little bit. So it kind of looks like it's resting on the cup, kind of like Santa's belt rests on on his belly with some of the older Christmas animated movies like Santa, Rudolph Comes to Town, or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or any of those. So what you want to do, grab it and make sure that both blacks hit right around the handle. And it looks like I'm good. So I will trim that off like that. As you could see, there was some of the black fluffs. So then you want to pull that so that you do not lose it. I'm going to tie these two up basically just as a safeguard. Now I am going to thread them just because I know for a fact I don't need to thread anything else. So now you're done with the black, you're done with the white, you're done with the red. Now we go on to this lovely mess of golden. This lovely golden mess that is so much fun. There's the end I want. So now with this, you're going to make a slip knot. And I'm pretty sure you're going to recognize it if you've seen my other, the fingerless gloves, and that you're going to recognize what I'm going to do with the buckle here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Then you're going to come here. I like to get that right there. That's the one I like to try and get it in to do the slip stitch with. And now you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now this one, you're going to come over here and you're going to out twisting, which is what I'm about to do inadvertently. I'm going to put it right in that hole and I'm going to slip stitch. Oops, that didn't work. So I'm going to slip stitch right there. Now I do have a slight bit of a twist, but I think that'll be all right. I think I can work with that, or pull it out, untwist it, because like I said, this is cordage. So you do want to make sure you're kind of following the rules because you want the least amount of hassles with this as possible. So you're going to do 1 and then you're going to chain single crochet 2. So 1, 2. This third stitch right here is where you're going to do 3 single crochets to go around the corner. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to single crochet 1, 2, and then here you're going to go around the corner. So you're going to do 3, 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, it starts to pull itself into shape. So you're going to do 1 single crochet here. Then you're going to do a single crochet right in here. Oops. So there's a second one there. Now this one, you're going to do a single crochet. And then the next one, you're going to do the 3, 1, 2, and 3. And as I said, if you can come up with another idea for gold that's not this, I would gladly hear it. This was the best thing I could come up with. So 1, 2, and then you're going to do your next 3 in this one. 1, 2, 3. And I will say the elastic works for you. It helps you with doing the buckle because it gives you a chance to kind of pull it and manipulate it. So there's that. There's your buckle. Trim that off. As I said, they are elastic, so they do pull a bit, giving you a little bit of a chance to work with it. Getting it on the needle is not the easiest, I will say. I'm just going to put these away here. There, the mess that is. I put that away. So now what you're going to do is I'm going to grab a second darning needle because I have them kicking around. You want to force it on because it is thick and it will be a pain in the butt if you don't. So just kind of darn it in as you would a thread. And the elastic actually works with you here. It gives you just a better chance to thread it through things. The needle might take a bit to pull through, but then it kind of works with the needle. So there's that one. Trim that one off. Now we're going to straighten that. Grab that one, and we're going to trim this one off. I did this, as you could see on this one, it looks a lot better when it's not the elastic cord. It does tend to make it look really nice. And but the color was just, you're fighting between color or yarn. And I wanted color better on this one. So there you have it. That one's all tightened up now. Trim it off. So now that I'm done with my scissors, or at least for the moment, now you can thread this on. So just thread it on there. Now I take it off the cup and I'm going to put it, actually I want it right side out. And so what I'm going to do is kind of just set it on the cup, and about halfway I'm going to just sew it in here. You just want to grab the stitch here, tighten up, and just kind of sew this so it's not going to go anywhere. And then just weave your ends in. You really don't want to lose your ends here. Do not want this one to come up, so just kind of weave it in. Ah, nuts. I hate when that happens. That, I think, is one of my biggest pet peeves about knitting and crocheting, is when the thread falls off the yarn as you think you're pulling it through. That's a frustration to me. All right, so there's that one. And I'm going to cut off a bit of a thread for myself to work with because I don't have one on the other side, and I didn't have enough to work with after that. So here's my working thread. This will give you a chance to sew it in, so it's all good. So now you just want to run it down, making sure you do not have a twist in it. And then come over here, line them up together so you know you're sewing it at the right spot, and just sew it up. So I'm going to do a quick tie there with that little end, just because I don't want it to come off. There's that one. I'll do one more. That one. And just trying to get the red covered up here, because I don't want to be able to see the red. Then I'm just going to wind my thread through, wind it back. And then I'm just going to trim it off. Whoop. So there you have it. There is a Santa coffee cup cozy. I really like this design. I hope you do too. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again. Bye.